Pretender. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 teams here I want to talk about. Not the obvious teams, obviously, on top of the card, but there's some teams here that are kind of either playing above their heads or maybe that should be playing better than they are, but we consider teams that should be in the mix. But I want to see through 5 weeks. And to me, when I interpret a contender, to me, it's like, do you see this team at least getting to the conference championship game? To me, to me
competing
is a contender.
For a spot in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. That's why I interpret a contender for me. Do I see this team, a la New York Giants? No, not really. Playing an NFC title game. Obviously, no.
I see them contending for a top pick, but that's a whole other question.
Top pick.
Good thing we don't have a Giants fan on this panel.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Piss me off. Anyway,
Go
first
Chiefs.
team here, Baltimore Ravens, 3-2, contender or pretender at this point, in your eyes?
Man, that's a tough one. So today, competing to make the Super Bowl, that means they have to beat in a playoff game some combination of Cincinnati, Miami, and Buffalo, or even the Jaguars at this point. I'm not convinced they can beat them. I'm going to say no, but they're on the door, or they're on the line.
They're complicated because they're literally probably 2 plays from being 5-0 right now.
It is complicated. Yeah.
They're very complicated.
But again, who have they lost to is also my question.
The Colts they lost to with 7 players down. The Steelers in a game where they were 2 yards away from taking a double-digit lead. And
which, by the way,
in the game.
Law of conference game applies to the Steelers. It's still among, if not the best rivalry in the damn league. And
right.
Has been for some time.
Baltimore up 2 points. By the way, they fucked me my parlay for the record because I had my 3 of the 4 teams right.
Hey, at least you didn't beat the Texans, am I right? Or bet the Texans, am I right?
I did not. Stay away from that game, as I told you.
I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
Right. Baltimore up 2 points, about to go up by 9 or 10 late in the middle to late in the fourth quarter. And if I'm on the ball, pitcher comes back, scores, and they win the game.
I mean,
again, those are one of those things. You're 2 plays away from being 5-0, being with the San Frans and the Phillies.
Also, 2 conference losses, which will impact playoff placement.
Now, can they clean up this mess? Yes, they can. Will they is the question. And to boot, you still have the lingering Lamar Jackson theory. Is going to be healthy to see all this play out by December, January.
Well, and take that off the question. That's why I answered it the way I did, Ernest Christian. Thank you for unboxing the depthness of my response and showing the world how smart, in fact, I am. He said modestly. Like
I'm going to link.
They do all of that. They still have to do what I said with the playoff victories. Right?
I'm going to pretend it for the time being, but I'm with you. They're on the door because if they clean up those things and Lamar does stay healthy, they're definitely in the mix. But
yeah, 100%.
I just want to say pretender. All right, let's stay in division. The 2-3 Cincinnati Bengals.
Anybody else, I would call them pretenders. Let me tell you why the Bengals can still contend. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, the correct answer is actually on the line, right? Because the only thing that throws all this into limbo is the health of one Joseph Burr, right? Mm-hmm. If Joey Burrow were healthy, I'd say pretender, look out. They always start slow. This is kind of a thing the Bengals do. This is why you putting this in as a host is a good question, because I get to reiterate that fact, unlike the complete silliness that was your boy, Mikey Byrne, putting them in the bottom 5 in his own mind last week. And technically, it wasn't the bottom 5. It was 1 spot above.
That's also because, but again, it's like Jim and like Mike. They're using their personal fan thing. Oh, I feel bad about it. No, step away from it a little bit. Think broadly about everything.
But in his defense, the part about it that was completely based in fact was the injury and handling of one Joseph Burr. It concerns me as well. They beat the Cardinals, and I picked the Cardinals on the Student of the Game podcast, Bing. Mm-hmm. And they not only beat the Cardinals, they did so convincingly, which made me reevaluate. And I will say the correct answer is on the line, but if I'm forced to choose one, I won't straddle the fence. I will say they are contending.
No, I'm with you. 100% contender. What I saw on Sunday is this. And if they beat Seattle this Sunday, they'll get to where I needed to get them to. 3-3, bye week, rest the calf, and then you can run off.
If they blow it to Seattle, and this is how much they're teetering, if they blow it against Seattle, I am saying pretender.
Straightforward, that might be game of the week. because Seattle. Well, let me tell you why.
Seattle had to buy this week, or they had to buy last.
No, they had to buy this past week.
Yeah.
Seattle is trying to form themselves as the 4th team, maybe the 5th team in the NFC. You know, these are games that matter.
And what I could argue is the friskiest NFC division.
Yeah, easily. Rams, them, and of course Niners are just bad, and even the Cardinals have been hard to put away. But I'm with you.
Over the East, really? You're selling out on the East that fast? I mean, if that's the case, it's only because the Giants suck that hard. But
the Giants are terrible. The Commanders are where they thought what you thought they were. You try to tell me, but I wouldn't listen.
That's okay. That's just one of the 2 L's in Howell's name that got me there. Continue.
Right. So no, this is actually easy for me. Now, obviously, next week changes things. If next week they lose Seattle, then I'm back on the line again. You know, I feel better about this Bengals team being 3-3 going to the bye than 2-4.
Right.
This is a huge game for the Bengals this coming week. So I'm gonna go to the Contender. They built a lot of trust last couple of years. By the way, isn't that weird saying the Bengals trust the Bengals? Oh, unbelievable. Anyway, speaking of Seattle.
Mm-hmm. That is probably the biggest morning star in my bag for the past 2 damn years.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Speaking of Seattle, Seahawks, contender, pretender.
They're pretenders. Listen, and this isn't because I think they're a bad team. They're just in a bad situation. And oh, by the way, Geno just got hurt, and hopefully he'll be back well enough. He wasn't hurt bad. I think he even played a little bit more in the game after he got injured. But with the bye week and all that, they'll be back on track. Consistency is the issue for the Seahawks. The problem with the Seahawks, such as it are, is they're going to be their own damn division. They need to come out of that strong. A couple games against the Cardinals ain't going to do it, right?
Right.
So, but if they can split in the NFC West, I like their chances to make the playoffs. They're not doing any more than that.
Yeah, pretender as well too. Even that Giants game where they dominated, that was a lot of Giants giving the games to also.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
I have to pump the brakes on something. No, yeah. I'm going to say pretender, but a little less confidently, because in order to get the idea is that they can get to conference championship Sunday to compete for a Super Bowl spot, meaning that in some combination they would need to beat the 49ers, the Philadelphia Eagles, or the Detroit Lions. I do not think they can do that.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going pretender as well too on that one, just because I got to see more. I got to see more from the offense, especially too from Geno. All right, next one here, LA Chargers, 2-2.
For one reason alone, and it's your favorite guy on the team. They're pretenders because of their coach. How do you have the safety that you do and Bosa, Derwin James, right? Yeah, and you're still this bad on defense. And it's intolerable. And listen, Kellen Moore has brought in a balanced offense. They're pretenders. It just makes me cry. And I'm not even a Charger guy. I need to send my guy Booga Peters some flowers, bro. Anyways.
He needs it. I'm pretenders all too. That same reason that coach is just untrustworthy. I mean, Herbert's ain't a problem. Plus, they can't stay healthy too. Every year they lose a key player. Every year on command.
I'm not going to blame. I'm not going to, as you've seen here with my previous picks, I'm not going to make this decision this week based on potential injury. That's why I said what I said about the Ravens without bringing up Lamar Demetrius Jackson.
Right.
But, anyway.
Yeah. Pretender definitely. All right, here we go. The team you cover, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I got bad news. It's going to be pretender. Listen, here's the thing. Mm-hmm. Their defense is probably the most underappreciated squad in the entire NFL, and it is not bleeding close. The one time they had a bad game was on the basis of 2 key blunders on 2 plays where, give credit to the Texans drafting, where Tank Dell by himself had like 100 and I think it was 20 something yards on 2 plays in that game that blew it wide the bleep open, and not to mention special teams blunders, right? That's the reason why they're 0-1 at Everbank, or excuse me, 0-2 at Everbank as a home team, and yet 2-0 in England. 1-0 as a home team in London, right? Anyways.
Right.
This defense won that game. But Kyle, the Buffalo Bills kept up at the end, and they played bad in the fourth quarter. First of all, horrible officiating about not knowing what a sack is versus a personal foul is back in play to make that touchdown happen. Look at it again, Ernest question. It was 3rd and 1 and Josh Allen for the first game without a recorded sack, by the way, since being back in the States. Yeah, it was just a horrific call. Check it out. There's a clip of it in my article on Jaguar Report, whatever. But the reason why the offense was allowed to trifle with the Bills such as they did and score only 11 points in the half and come up with 14 of them in the fourth quarter alone is because the defense kept them in that football game. Trevor Lawrence, under duress, is performing better than any other quarterback I've seen since a young Aaron Charles Rodgers. This guy, there's your comp. Trevor Lawrence is Aaron Charles Rodgers young. I said it.
And by the way,
he's got better running backs than young Aaron Charles Rodgers ever did. At least they stay healthy longer, which is interesting. Talking about Travis Etienne, who missed an entire season his rookie year and is running his butt off now. I digress. Had a huge game as well against the Bills, but yeah, no, they don't have quite enough to sustain. Play a full 4 quarters. We'll talk about you being a contender. How about that?
Yeah, I'm a pretender also, but I think they're closer to defense still for me. Because I've seen some good things with this team also. I feel like.
But you haven't seen it for 4 straight quarters.
Right. I got to see a complete game. Like, that points. For this Buffalo game, they're not points on the board.
Oh, indubitably. Yeah.
This should have been a blowout.
But the offensive line's interior is banged up. It's their weakest part of the unit, and they were playing against what could be the best defensive tackle core in the league. Not enough people are talking about the Bills in that way either. But Trevor Lawrence delivering under duress the way he did. Listen, maybe his numbers aren't as cute, but if you watch the damn film, when Calvin Ridley catches the football, they make some amazing plays.
He's amazing. And you're good at this because Buffalo Bills is the next team on this list.
They're going to be contenders for one reason. And listen, Jim and I have both been critical of them as an up and down team, but the reason why I can't leave them out is on their best day, they have the potential to be the best team in football. Yes, the best team entirely in football, even over the San Francisco 49ers. The problem is when they play the 49ers, I don't think they'll be allowed to have their best day, okay? So I have to say this. Highest ceiling in the league as a team, by default, I have to say they're contenders. Even though I don't think they're going to get there.
Yeah, contenders well too. They got a very, very high ceiling. That's the thing. Their ceiling is top team in the league. It's just that high ceiling. Sometimes they don't attain it.
Gabe Davis made to keep him in the game.
Yeah,
absolutely ridiculous. Over Darius Williams, who had a day that day. With an interception, the final fumble forced, pass defended, led the team in tackles. You can read about all that in the Jaguar report. Bing.
Contender also too. This is probably gonna be cute, but we'll say it anyway. The 3-1 Tampa Buccaneers. All right, next team.
I'm sorry, I didn't read the actual team we're talking about.
Pretender, it's easy, right? Come on.
Hey, listen, real talk. For all the times we've said that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had such a good roster and that your boy Jameis Winston was the problem, Baker Mayfield's current success. Yes, I did that on purpose. Baker Mayfield's current success right, is proof in the pudding because that roster ain't what it was, but it's still pretty bleeding good in a weak division. And look what the hell he's doing. But contenders, get the bleep out of here.
All right, next team here, the Miami Dolphins.
Contenders. Granted, we've seen their defense get exposed like, well, one of your arguments again. Anyways, but the punchline. Listen,
it is what it is.
I know their defense is bad, and they're probably looking to shore that up. But I think part of the problem is just the Buffalo effing Bills. I can see a reality that exists where if the seeding meshes out right, that the Finns and the Bills could be playing for a Super Bowl opportunity in Conference Championship Sunday. Do I think that will happen? No. But I can make the argument that it's more likely the Finns can get there because that offense controls things and can score so fast. If the offensive line handles their business, isn't facing the best defensive tackles in the league, like if let's say they make the playoffs as a wild card, I'm assuming the Bills win the division still, just as we predicted, right? Which may not happen. Who knows?
Right on the first place in the division. So
correct. That means they would have to beat in some combination the Bengals, Jaguars, Bills, and Chiefs. No, I can't do it. So they're going. That's a tough go.
But the contender though.
I'm going to say contender, but I just don't see it happening.
Right. Okay. I'm contender as well too. Because the offense is fucking lethal.
The correct answer is on the line, just like
right. Because and the combination you would just say is it's going to be tough. But doesn't that apply to every team though in that conference though too also?
What's that?
But doesn't that logic apply to every team in that conference also too? The logic of like the combination of teams to play. So Miami plays a combination of KC, Cincinnati, and Jacksonville. Well, KC has to play Miami, Buffalo, Cincinnati.
Right.
Too.
The reason it's different with the Dolphins is because of the bad defense. Right. Think of the teams I just listed there. All have top flight quarterbacks.
Right. True. That's a good point. It's a good point. 2 more teams here. Let's go. Detroit Lions, 4-1.
Because it's the NFC, they are contenders. Let me go through the list again, Ernest Christian. It's the Niners, it's the Eagles, then who?
Right.
Carry on.
That's where I'm at too. Also, I don't know exactly. I mean, I'm gonna on the line for me maybe. I still think Dallas is the better team, which is my last team here. I will still right now in this moment. Now, of course, this can change in weeks to come because of the things we see, the schedule, and all that. I'll say pretender for the time being, but they are trending closer to the contender status because I still think Dallas, my last team here on the list, is.
See, all you're doing is giving me fuel, giving me fire, and give me that which I desire to continue to call you a tool.
Okay, James
See
Hetfield. Calm down, James Hetfield. I'm gonna still say contender for the Cowboys because there could be a scenario where they avoid playing San Francisco in the divisional round.
Now, the reason why I can't sign off on the Cowboys is to stay true to my prediction. I said 8 wins and missing the playoffs in September or August. I forget which.
Right.
Bing. But if I said that then, I sure as hell can't say contender now.
Can they be San Francisco at this point? I don't think so. Can it be Philadelphia?
I don't think so. You went full Macaulay Culkin in that beast.
Right. Can it be Philadelphia, though?
# Home Alone reference. Mommies and daddies used to think that movie was great around Christmas time. Anyway.
I still love the movie. Kidding me?
I'm talking about how old it is, not you.
It's 33 years. It's 33 years old, and it still ages well.
You didn't have to bring that up, did you?
I'm sorry. I love that movie. I can't help it.
See, all you're doing is making people think I'm younger than I actually am.
You want to hear something funny though? I never
other than your arguments in Tool Time.
Yeah, I never considered. I actually never considered that a Christmas movie until recently, until the last 10 years. I just never thought about it. No, I just never thought of it.
You're one of these morons that tries to tell me that Die Hard's a Christmas movie at the same time.
No. I'm not that guy. No, I'm not that guy. I'm saying that I've never when I watch Home Alone, I watched it in April. I watched it in February. I watched it in June. It never occurred to me that it was a Christmas movie. It was just a great movie that happened to be made around the Christmas time. That's all. I didn't know.
Be careful with great. Listen, that movie's more overrated than Russell Carrington Wilson as a rookie. Okay,
that's a file for content. Book it. We got that topic going now. I'm sure Jim will love that one. But the Cowboys though, I'm gonna go contender still because I guess this scenario they can still evade San Francisco.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Also, underrated topic calls too with them in Philadelphia. We haven't seen a full strength Cowboys Eagles game in 2 years. Both games last year, one team missed the starting quarterback. First game was Dak missed the first game. Then the second game they played last year, Mr. Jalen Hurts missed that game. So we haven't seen a full strength Cowboys Eagles game yet. I want to see those two teams go at it.
The law of divisional matchup also applies there. You're absolutely right.
So that's the only reason why I'm going to say contender still, because they can still. I still think right now,
because they might beat the Eagles in a divisional matchup, they're still contenders. That doesn't mean they're going to beat the Lions. Certainly doesn't mean they're going to beat.
I think they're better. Well, they played this year, so it's cool. But I do think
nothing to the playoffs, but cool story, bro.
Gun to my head right now, who's a better team? I still have Dallas at Detroit. Me personally.
I'm sorry. I'm not Zach. Moving on.
That shit tastes good, bro. All right. Anyway, one last thing.